5 Academic Challenge, celebrating education in our region, where local high schools compete to win thousands of dollars in scholarship money. Over the years, NBC5 and our sponsors have awarded over $180,000 to area high school students to further their education. The NBC5 Academic Challenge is brought to you by McDonald's, I'm loving it, by Avista Utilities, and by U.S. Bank, all of us serving you. And now, here's the host of the NBC5 Academic Challenge, NBC5 News meteorologist Jeff Heaton.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to NBC5's Academic Challenge. Here are the teams we have fighting it out for tonight. We have Oakland versus North Valley. Now, before we go through the rules of the show, let's introduce the stars of the show. We start with Oakland and a sophomore, Desi Colley. Next to Desi, a senior, Marcus Chapman. Next to Marcus, a senior, Kat Derby. And next to Kat, a junior, Nick Tripp. And the coach for Oakland, Andy Crocker. And against Oakland, we have North Valley. We start with a junior, Lyda Belcher. Next to Lyda, a senior, Kayla Wade. Next to Kayla, a senior, Mason Kriz. And next to Mason, a junior, Anna Patch. And the coach for North Valley, Greg Patch. Here's how we play the game. At least round one, I'll ask questions to both teams worth 10 points if answered correctly. 5 seconds to respond after I finish reading the question. There are certain math questions that allow for 15 seconds to respond. And keep in mind the judge's decision is final even if the outcome of the game is affected. Let us begin. We start both teams with a geography question. This country contains the Polochic River, which empties into Lake Izabal. Its southern neighbors are Honduras and El Salvador, while its northern neighbors are Belize and Mexico. Name this country which, Mason?
Costa Rica.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Oakland. This country contains the Polochic River, which empties into Lake Izabal. Its southern neighbors are Honduras and El Salvador, while its northern neighbors are Belize and Mexico. Name this country which shares a name with its capital city. Kat.
Guatemala.
Guatemala is correct. Next toss-up question, both teams, is a math question, but 5 seconds. This is a definition, 5 seconds to answer. This is a term used in algebra for an expression consisting of 2 parts connected by a plus or minus sign. For Kayla?
Binomial.
That's what we're looking for. Next question, history. What is the man's name that shot Martin Luther King Jr. in Memphis, Tennessee? It's James Earl Ray. Next question is a science question, both teams. What planet in our solar system has the lowest average density? Kayla?
Venus.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Oakland. What planet in our solar system has the lowest average density? Yes, Kat.
Jupiter.
It's Saturn. Toss-up question now. Geography, both teams. Name the desert that essentially takes up the whole of northern Africa, the largest in the Lyla. Sorry.
Sahara Desert.
That's what we're looking for. Next toss-up, both teams, literature. Considered one of the classic stories of the horror genre. Name this short work of fiction by Edgar Allan Poe. Lyla?
The Raven.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Oakland. Considered one of the classic stories of the horror genre. Name this short work of fiction by Edgar Allan Poe that is about the torments endured by one prisoner of the Spanish Inquisition. Nick?
The Pit and the Pendulum.
That is correct. Toss-up, both teams. This is a history question. This 1863 battle was a siege on a well-fortified west-facing cliff in Mississippi that saw victory for the Union under General Grant, allowed the Union to secure the Mississippi River. What battle was this? Battle of Vicksburg. All right, now we have a 15-second variety math question. 15 seconds to answer. Listen carefully. If Bob has ordered T-shirts in bulk and paid $385 at $7 per shirt, how many shirts did he order? Yes, Nick.
55.
That is correct. Next toss-up question is a literature question. The protagonist of this novel suffers a head wound when asking for news from a retreating column. His friend Wilson cares for that head wound. Mason?
The Red Badge of Courage.
That's it. Next toss-up, a geography question. This city, home to the War Memorial Opera House, has such suburbs as Daly City. In it can be found Russian Hill and Lake Merced, as well as Nob Hill. What city is this? Desi.
San Francisco.
That is correct. Next toss-up is a government question. This amendment to the Constitution extends the guarantee of due process and equal protection to all persons and grants citizenship to all persons born in the United States. What amendment is this? Yes, Sam.
17th.
Incorrect. I'll beat the entire question for Oakland. This amendment to the Constitution extends the guarantee of due process and equal protection to all persons and grants citizenship to all persons born in the United States. What amendment is this? Kat?
24th.
It's the 14th. Toss up, both teams. This is a history question. This Kansas native served as Senate Minority Leader and Senate Majority Leader in the 1990s before he stepped down during an unsuccessful 1996 United States presidential campaign. Who is this? Kat?
Bob Dole.
Bob Dole's correct. Next toss-up, geography, both teams. Smaller islands that are part of this nation include the Chatham Islands and Stewart Islands. The Cook Strait separates the two main islands of this country, whose smaller main island contains the old capital of Auckland. What nation? Mason?
New Zealand.
New Zealand is correct. Next question, a science question. A triangular patch of clouds that circulates this planet quickly is known as the Scooter. Its atmosphere contains the fastest winds in the solar system. Name this gas giant the farthest from the... Kayla?
Neptune.
Neptune's correct. Toss a question, both teams, literature. Name this novel in which Elizabeth Bennet marries Mr. Darcy. Anna?
Pride and Prejudice.
That is correct. Next toss-up, a history question. The defeat of the Spanish Armada by the English broke Spain's control of the seas. Who was a commander of the English fleet? Kat?
Lord Nelson.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for North Valley. The defeat of the Spanish Armada by the English broke Spain's control of the seas. Who was a commander of the English fleet? Sir Francis Drake. Toss up, both teams. This is a geography question. The principal judicial body of the United Nations is the International Court of Justice. Name the city in the Netherlands where this court is located. Marcus.
Birmingham.
Incorrect. I'll beat the entire question for North Valley. The principal judicial body of the United Nations is the International Court of Justice. Name the city in the Netherlands where this court is located. The Hague is the correct answer. Next question, a music question. Listen carefully. With what holiday do you associate the tune that was written in the late 18th century by Robert Burns? Mason?
Christmas.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Oakland. What holiday do you associate the tune that was written in the late 18th century by Robert Burns? Kat?
Halloween.
The music was Auld Lang Syne, the holiday we were looking for, New Year's Eve. Toss-up question, both teams. This is a literature question. What famous literary work opens with the words, "Of man's first disobedience and the fruit of the forbidden tree"? It's Paradise Lost. Next question is a science question, both teams. Name this element whose semiconductive properties have made it important for use in electronics, an element with the chemicals, Nick?
Silicon.
That's what we were looking for. Next toss-up is a literature question. One scene in this work involves the title character hiding a bag of gold in the casket of the father of 3 sisters, one with a prominent hair lip. What novel is this from? Kat.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
That is correct. Next question is a geography question, both teams. What major river runs through the city of Rome, Italy? It's called the Tiber River. That's round 1. We'll come back with round 2 right after this. Welcome back, everybody. We've got a good game and a close score here. Check out the score at the end of round 1. We have Oakland at 70, North Valley at 60. And now we begin round 2. Here's how we played. I'll ask toss-up questions to both teams. Still worth 10 points if answered correctly. Still 5 seconds to respond. Still those math questions, yes, we have them, that allow for 15 seconds to respond. But this time, when a team answers a toss-up question correctly, they receive a 10-point bonus question just for themselves. But we begin round 2 with a toss-up question, and even better, it's a math question, which allows for 15 seconds to respond. So please listen carefully. Add the following: 62.9 plus 62.8 plus 17.3. What's the total? Nick?
143.
That is correct. Bonus question just for Oakland. This is a history question. What U.S. president did Schuyler Colfax serve as vice president? I'll say the name again. Schuyler Colfax. Captain, I need an answer.
James Polk.
Ulysses S. Grant. Toss-up question now. Both teams, back on here. Both teams, languages. This is French for pen name, an invented name under Kayla.
Nom de plume.
That's what I'm looking for. By the way, you said it better than I would have, so that's even better. Bonus question just for North Valley. This is a literature question. I need the first and last name of this character. He is Hester Prynne's vengeful husband in Nathaniel Hawthorne's The Scarlet Letter. Who is this? I need a name, Captain.
Stephen Calkins?
Nope, Roger Chillingworth. All right, toss-up question, both teams. This is a history question. This person rose to national prominence in a famous series of debates with his opponent in the 1858 election. That opponent, Stephen A. Douglas. He was elected president. Mason?
Abraham Lincoln.
That's who we're looking for. Bonus question just for North Valley. This is a history question. This nation was the site of a massacre of American prisoners of war in December 1944 during the Battle of the Bulge. It was overtaken by Germany during both World Wars. Name this Benelux nation, most of whose citizens are Walloons or Flemings. Captain?
Poland?
Belgium is what we're looking for. Toss-up question now. This is a science question. Both teams. A combination of 2 or more atoms held together by a force between them is...
Molecule.
Kayla? Yes, indeed. That's a molecule. Bonus question just for North Valley. This is a literature question. Name this poet who worked with Samuel Taylor Coleridge on lyrical ballads and wrote lines composed a few miles above Tintern Abbey. Captain?
Robert Frost?
No, William Wordsworth. Toss-up question now. We got both teams. Geography. All right. Oh, good point. Toss-up question. Both teams, this is a literature question now. This American writer lived from 1875 to 1939. His works were almost all Western adventure novels, including Riders of the Purple... Mason.
Louis L'Amour.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Oakland. This American writer lived from 1875 to 1939. His works were almost all Western adventure novels, including Riders of the Purple Sage. Who was this? Cat.
Mark Twain.
No, Zane Grey. All right, toss-up question, both teams. This is a history question. U.S. president who is credited with establishing energy conservation measures and concluding the Panama Canal treaties of Desi?
Teddy Roosevelt.
Incorrect. I'll beat the entire question for North Valley. U.S. president who is credited with establishing energy conservation measures and concluding the Panama Canal treaties of 1978. Who was this? Anna.
Ford.
Jimmy Carter. Toss-up question, both teams. This is a science question. A heavy, silvery white metallic element, radioactive and toxic, easily oxidized, having 14 known isotopes. Atomic number 92. Mason.
Plutonium.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Oakland. A heavy, silvery white metallic element, radioactive and toxic, easily oxidized, having 14 known isotopes. Atomic number 92. The symbol, a capital U. What element is this? Nick?
Uranium.
Uranium is correct. Bonus question just for Oakland. This is a government question. From 1980 to 1990, he served as a judge of the U.S. Court of Appeals. He was nominated by President Clinton and took his seat on the U.S. Supreme Court in August of 1994. Who is this? Captain?
Jimmy Carter.
No, Stephen G. Breyer is the name. All right, toss-up question now. Back to both teams. Government. Director of the FBI for 48 years. He's remembered, Kayla?
J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah, that's correct. Bonus question just for North Valley history. This writer spent his final year in prison before being beheaded in 1535, 19 years after he finished Utopia. Who was this? Captain?
Plato.
Sir Thomas More. Toss-up question now. Both teams, geography. What is the capital of Ecuador? Mason.
Quito.
Quito is correct. Bonus question just for North Valley, another geography question. Name the all five Great Lakes. Good, Captain.
Superior, Huron, Michigan, Erie, and Ontario.
Correct, you are. Toss up both teams. Greek mythology. The goddess of the moon is called what? Desi.
Artemis.
Incorrect. Repeat the entire question for North Valley. Greek mythology. The goddess of the moon is called what? Kayla?
Celeste.
No, that's incorrect. Selene. Toss-up question, both teams. Computer science. A unit of speed in data transmission, usually equal to 1 bit per second, is called what? Mason.
KBPS.
Incorrect. Repeat the entire question for Oakland. A unit of speed in data transmission, usually equal to 1 bit per second, is called what? Baud is what we were looking for. Toss-up question, both teams, arts. An American painter whose subtle coloring and tonal harmony were influenced by musical aesthetics and Japanese art. His works include a portrait of his mother entitled Arrangement in Gray and Black. Who was this? Mason?
Rockwell.
Incorrect. I'll repeat the entire question for Oakland. American painter whose subtle coloring and total harmony were influenced by musical aesthetics and Japanese art. His works include a portrait of his mother entitled Arrangement in Gray and Black. Who was this? Marcus?
Thomas Kincaid.
No, that's incorrect. A lot of people call arrangement in gray and black Whistler's mother. James Whistler's who we were looking for. Toss-up question, both teams, odds and ends. Both teams. What is the highest dam in the United States at 726 feet tall? Mason.
Hoover.
Hoover Dam is correct. Bonus question for North Valley. This is a history question. American politician and revolutionary leader. He was president of the Continental Congress from 1775 to 1777. He later served 9 terms as governor of Massachusetts. Who was he? Captain?
Samuel Johnson.
No, John Hancock is what we were looking for. That's it. We'll come back and tally the score right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Well, that was a pretty good game. The total score comes out to be North Valley at 130, Oakland at 90. All thanks to a second half effort there. Oakland, that's the second loss for you. I'm sorry to see you guys go, but I will tell you guys you were a class act and you gave it a good game tonight. It was really fun to watch. North Valley, the winner, and the captain, a senior, Mason Kriz. Tell me, Mason, you got any kind of college plans at one?
I'm looking at George Fox and Seattle Pacific.
George Fox and your major would be?
Political science.
Political science. So political questions are up there. Any other kind of subject matter you'd like to hear me announce and say, let's do that?
Geography and history.
Geography and history.
Kind of my two.
Yeah, I noticed the capitals never slip past you. It's indeed true. Well, thank you, guys. Next week, we have Phoenix versus Eagle Point. Please join us then.